In just a few hours, Bryan Kohberger is set to plead guilty to quadruple murder on his way to a life sentence, unless Judge Steven Hippler objects to the deal. And legally, he can do that, but practically, how do you put someone on trial after the whole world knows he agreed to admit that he did it? It is unlikely that he is going to go against the plea deal. In fact, he's probably already signed off on it. What if he were, though, tried and acquitted? If Bryan Kohberger doesn't stand trial, will the whole horrific story ever come out? And if it doesn't, is justice really served? Joining me now is veteran of the Idaho courts, criminal defense attorney Edwina Elcox. In fact, her office is a block away, so we're lucky to have someone who understands this courthouse, this judge. I'm curious what you think about Judge Hippler in terms of, do you think he's going to push tomorrow to get information out of Bryan Kohberger, to get the story, to get the motive, to get the details?
I don't think so. I think if Bryan Kohberger is going to enter a plea, all that he would be required to do is establish the elements of each of the crimes. So where it occurred, the date, obviously the names of each of the victims, and what he did. But as far as requiring him to say why he did this, there's no legal requirement for that.
Do you think the prosecution should have put that in? I mean, why not?
I think it's the question that everybody wants to know, why he did this, or theoretically he did this. I'm sure we'll get our answer on that guilty plea tomorrow, but I think that having him plead guilty is one of the best things that could have happened in this case.
The trial would have been difficult, do you think?
Yes.
Yeah. Is there any chance, again, you knowing this community, the judge, that he could not accept the plea?
I don't think so.
Does that ever happen?
The courts can reject plea deals in certain circumstances, but realistically, in this case, the judge can't force the state to pursue the death penalty, right? So if they take that off the table, the sentence that he has, what we hear he's agreed to, is the most significant one that he could get.
You heard Jesse talking about how it angered him, this alternate perpetrators theory that the defense wanted to bring up. The fact that they wanted to bring in these names of people who were innocent. I mean, they were ruled out with fingerprints and DNA. Was that I mean, you're a criminal defense attorney. Did that cross a line? That she wanted to do that?
I don't think that proposing the idea of an alternate perpetrator or perpetrators crossed the line. I think you have to do what you need to do as a defense attorney, but clearly there has to be a legal basis, and the court was very clear that the judge did not think that the defense had even remotely met that standard.
You know this community. You know, there's a lot of outrage that I hear about from all over the country. People wanted a trial, they wanted answers, they feel like this is a cop-out. What is the feeling here, even within the legal community?
I think people are really shocked that he's going to be entering a plea. Nobody that I know who I've talked to about this saw this coming whatsoever. I think a lot more information, so like, for example, at the sentencing hearing, a lot more information is going to be made publicly available through argument of the state, through testimony. So I think people will get a lot more information, but I understand in a case like this why Bryan Kohberger pleading, kind of on the midnight hour of trial and the death penalty being off the table is unsatisfying for people.
But we appreciate your commentary always, especially the fact that you live here and you can help us understand sort of how the local court system works. Appreciate you very much. It's nice to see you in person. I've only seen you on Zoom in the past, so you're a real person. Yeah. Nice to finally meet you. Thank you, Edwina.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.